wonderful loves of the world, is me, Queen Nightmare, and I am going to do part 8 of the series, and I know I'm very, very late on recording this. I am very sorry because, well, my uncle came over and I have been doing a lot of, terms. My term is ending soon, so I've been doing that. Let me get to the Wattpad. Hurt in the Art of Friendship, Drarry. I buried my face into Draco's lap. It's Harry's POV. I buried my face into Draco's lap and cried. Harry hated me, and the Weasleys probably did too. My family, and the only people who felt like family, hated me. Shh. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Draco rubbed my back and I sobbed harder. Ron hated me, and then Hermione was going to hate me. I would have no friends and will be all alone. Draco, I cried. They're all gonna hate me, I cried. Draco's arms tightened around me as he rubbed my arm. Raven, love, are you afraid of going back to your dorm? He asked, and I nodded, and my crying slowed, and now I was just sniffling. Okay, you can stay with me, he told me, and I looked up. Really? I questioned, and he leaned in and kissed me gently. Really, he agreed. We can have one of the house elves get your stuff and move it to my room. He had promised, and I nodded. Okay, can we go now? I asked, and he nodded. I stood up and he followed. I wrapped his arms around me and we walked into the castle. We went straight to the Slytherin common room, where all of Draco's friends stopped to look at us. What happened? Blaise sneered. Weasley did this. Draco barked and Blaise hissed. What did he do? Crabbe cracked his knuckles, called us faggots and puffs, hexed me and hit Harry. Draco growled and I whimpered and buried my face into Draco's side. Don't worry, we'll take care of it, says Blaise. Later at dinner, I was sitting with the Slytherins and I kept catching Hermione's eye. She was giving me a sad glances, but she smiled. I smiled at her and I heard a growl from next to me. Are you ready? Blaise hissed. Crabbe and Goyle both grunted and stood up. I scooted closer to Draco. As the three of them walked over to the table, Ron looked up. Just as they got him, he paled. Blaise picked him up and threw him into the arms of the bigger guys. Blaise smirked as Ron tried loosening the grip. Blaise put his wand to his own throat and cleared his throat. It was heard throughout the great hall. May I have your attention, please? Will the real Shady stand up? No, I'm kidding. Blaise called out, and everyone started to quiet down. It seems we have a homophobe here. Blaise smirked, and everyone started murmuring. You see, I don't like homophobes, much because my great friend Draco Malfoy is gay, and for none other than Harry Potter, as you may have noticed. The great hall erupted in shouting, and Ron's face turned redder than his hair. I had to suppress a smile. So what are we going to do about that? Are we gonna support them, or are we gonna let Voldemort take over? He asked, and everyone started shouting support. I smiled wildly and looked up at Draco, who grinned, matching mine. Oh, the people who have spoken, Weasley. Happy to finally Happy to finally have your 15 minutes of fame. I hope you enjoy it. Blaze smirked and smirked. Thank you. He canceled the spell and had Crab and Goyle let go of Ron. Ron looked down as everyone was shouting insults at him. The trio returned to the table and smiled. Thank you, I told him, and Blaze smirked. Hey, what are friends for? I actually liked that. That made me smile and feel happy inside. Yep, not going there. Here it is. Loss and comfort. Um, this is the author dedicated it to her uncle who just recently passed away. Thank you for for being so understanding and for your kind words. I will give her a shout out today. I don't know her YouTube channel, but I will give her a shout out of her thing. Harry Potter just lost his godfather. Oh, I cried during that part of the movie. Oh my gosh, I was whimpering like a little baby. Oh, you should have saw me. It came as a shock because he was hit with a stunning spell when he was gone. Then he was gone. He wasn't killed. He just disappeared. Fell into the veil to live in a different dimension where no one would find him. Harry was devastated. How could Sirius be gone? He was there laughing one minute, then he was gone the next. He shook his head and hugged Draco closer. Draco was was his long-term crush from the moment he laid his eyes on him in the robe shop. Sure, he made fun of his friends, but Harry thought he was the prettiest person he's ever seen. They got together in third year. 2 years later, they were still going strong. Draco wrapped his arms around Harry. He hugged him closer. He rubbed his back and soothed him with sweet words. Draco knew that Harry was close with Sirius. He was the one who was gonna take him from his awful relatives and be his guardian. He was the father Harry never had and or was going to be. He meant just as much to Harry as Draco did, and he knew it. I'm sorry, Harry. Draco spoke softly, and he was sorry. It was his aunt's fault, and Draco would never forgive his family. Harry looked up as tears pooled into his eyes. I love you, Draco. Harry spoke. Despite all the time being together, those words were never uttered. It was just an unspoken truth between the two of them. Draco took a shaky breath and smiled. I love you too, Harry. He knew the boy needed to hear those words. No one had ever told him that. Draco dropped a kiss on Harry's forehead. And you'll get through this, Draco promised, because he knew he would. Harry was strong, and with his help, Draco would help Harry be happy again. Harry blinked away the tears and swallowed his cry. He looked Draco in the eyes and nodded. I will. Whew. Man, I felt that in my bones. About the crying with Sirius Black dying. Oh my gosh, I wanted to die. Whew. Here we go. Cheating and other lies. Drarry. Harry's POV. Draco was kissing me against the wall in the abandoned corridor. Wow, that escalated quickly. What do you What'd you tell her? I whispered, and I gasped as he started to kiss the sensitive skin in my neck. That I needed to do some work. I groaned and then pushed him off, and he looked hurt, but I smirked and grabbed his arm. I ran with him to the R&R and then shoved him inside. Let's do some work, shall we? And I asked, and he smirked. He pushed me towards the bed, and we fell on top of it. One thing led to another, and we ended up exhausted. Draco looked at me, sweating, causing him to glow, and he frowned. Are you gonna heal those? He asked, and I looked at my arms. Along my along my stomach, he had practically bit every inch of them. No, why would I? You have a girlfriend, he pointed out. I leaned into him and then kissed his lips. Do I? He just smiled in response. Harry James! Oh, I felt that. Oh, ow, ow, ow. I felt like I even felt like a smack in the face too. Whoo! Bringing out the middle names. Ow. Oh, I have two middle names, so if my mom just called my middle name, whoo, you know you in trouble. Ow. Okay, let's watch. Harry James! Ginny yelled as I entered the common room. Yes, Jen? I asked, smiling. Where were you? I fell asleep working on homework, I told her, and she eyed my neck. What's that on her neck? She gasped. Wait. Let me redo that. What's that on your neck? She gasped. Oh, I told her. I do believe that's a hickey. Are you cheating on me? She gasped, and I pulled her into me. Of course I'm not, I told her. How do you not remember? I pouted, and she looked at me. What? The first time we oh my gosh, he's a cheating looking bastard. What the One thing I hate more is cheaters. Harry James Potter. Who? Punch you in the face. The first time we made love, you gave me this. I've charmed it to stay there so I could always remember that night, I told her, and she smiled. Really? Why haven't I seen it before? She asked, running her fingers over it. I've kept it hidden, I told her, and she awed. She kissed me, and I mentally imagined Draco's lips. I could hear his voice in my head. Nice one, babe. Okay, I am kind of happy. Like, I'm laughing, but like, he had sex with two people. One of them can get pregnant. Unless in the Harry Potter universe, males can get pregnant, but I don't understand that. Anyways, he's cheating on Ginny, though. She's gonna find out and beat his ass. Oh no. Accusations and heartbreak. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Warning, this might hurt. Part 2 of the cheating and other lies. Draco's POV. I was sitting with Harry, hiding away, and sighing sadly. What's wrong, Dragon? Harry stroked my hair. Do you love me, Harry? I asked, and he looked at me. He dropped his hand. Of course I do. Why do you ask? He reached out towards me, but I shied away. He looked hurt. You haven't broken up with her yet, I told him. I love you a lot, Harry, but I can't be the other guy anymore, I told him, and he frowned. He looked away and clenched his jaw, indicating that he was thinking. He looked back at me and nodded. You're right, he told me. It's not fair to either of you. I thought maybe she would have found out by now and break up with me. But she has no clue. So? I questioned, and he wordlessly stood up and pulled me along with him, and then we walked outside. She was sitting by the lake with a book. "Stay here," he told me, and then I let go of me. Then he let go of me. I watched as he walked over to her. She smiled and leaned in for to kiss him. I flinched, but he stopped her. She frowned and asked what was wrong. I was good at reading lips. He told her that he was cheating on her and that he had to break up with her. She stared at him before breaking into tears. She slapped him and then called him a bastard. She stormed off and then glared at me. Harry walked over to me and grinned. "You good?" I asked and pulled me in for a lingering kiss. "Never better. Love you, Draco." "I really do." He told me, and I smiled. I hugged him tightly and inhaled his scent. "I know, Harry. I know." "What did I tell you? What did I tell you? She was going to find out and then slap him. What did I tell you?" "I'm so sorry. Whoops, I shook for help." "No, what is this? Call of Duty, get out of the way." Um, Late nights and a workaholic. Wow, what a whole bit combination. Draco's POV. I walked into the dark flat and sighed. Harry was working late again. I checked the time and it was already 8, so I knew I'd be eating solo, like I had been for a few nights. I walked into the kitchen and went to the fridge. I pulled out some takeaway leftovers. Do you mean takeout leftovers? Whatever. Anyways, takeaway leftovers from the night prior and heated it up with the flick of a wand. "Well, this is dumb," I said aloud, and packed the things away and apparated to Harry's office. It was deserted, other than the light coming from Harry's office. If I didn't know any better, I'd think Harry was cheating on me. I opened the door to his office, and his face was scrunched up in concentration. He was scribbling away, so I smiled. "Hey," I called out, and he looked up. He smiled widely. "Hey, baby, what are you doing here?" he asked me, and I approached his desk and put down the basket I packed. "I got tired of eating alone, so I figured I'd come here to eat with you," I told him, and guilt flashed across his face. "I'm sorry," he told me, and I just nodded. I started to pull out the food, and I brought that I had brought, and Harry looked at me. "Do you forgive me?" he asked. "What else can I do?" "Nothing I say will help, or make you come home any earlier," I told him, and then took a bite of food. Harry was giving a pitiful look, so I rolled my eyes. "Stop looking at me like that. I have a confession to make." "What? What?" "Harry, don't you dare. Not in this one. Not in this story. You have to be faithful. Please be faithful. I will smack the shit out of a doll if you are not faithful." "Okay." "I have a confession to make," he told me, and I gulped. "Exactly. What is it?" I asked, and he looked down. His hands were shaking slightly, and he placed them on the desk in front of him. "The reason why I'm working so late is so I can get enough to buy a ring." he told me, and I blinked at him slowly. Ring? An engagement ring, he told me, and I sighed. I wanted it to be a surprise, but you seem to so sad all the time, and that I'm not around. I didn't want you to be upset anymore. An engagement ring? I squeaked, and he nodded. You were going to propose? Yes. Why does that seem surprising? I just shook my head. It took me so long to become you to become my boyfriend. I just thought you weren't the committing type. I told him, and he grinned shyly. Well, you've been my boyfriend for 4 years. I think it's time you became my husband. That's a pickup line. That is a pickup line you do to your hubby, or whatever you want to call it. Your feet, like your girlfriend of 4 years or whatever. Like, we've been dating for 2 years or whatever, and says, I think it's about time I make you. Ah! Mom! What?
On my butt, look.
It looks fine. I don't know if you heard my mom, but that was my mom in the background. Asking if she looked good in a cheerleading outfit. It's for like a weekend thing. It's not nothing important. Okay, where was I? Okay. Would you want that? He asked, and I looked at my hands. More than you'd ever know, I whispered very quietly. I heard him shift in his chair, and then he was next to me on the floor, on one knee. I looked at his and let a whimper of joy out. He had a ring on his hand. And it was a beautiful looking, but very expensive. Then it's a yes? He asked, and I nodded. Yes, it's a yes, I told him, and he smiled. He slipped the ring on my finger, and it was perfect. He straddled my lap and peppered kisses on my face. I love you so much, Draco. I love you more, Harry, I told him, and looked at my finger. After all, the nights eating alone, it was worth it. I have a cough in my throat. I'm dying. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Oh my goodness, look at the time. Oh my Jesus. Okay. Oh no. Okay. I might have to call it. The next part's even better. First time and nerves. It's a mature content one. I might have to put age restriction on the next one. Sorry about that to you other viewers that are not age 18 yet. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. I have to tell you who the person is who writes these, because oh my Jesus, she's awesome. Or they are awesome. Drarry Duchess at Clever Mess. I will absolutely take a picture of this. I really want her to know that her stuff is amazing. I absolutely recommend you reading it. It has Scorpius on there. If you want me to read Scorpius, I will. But thank you to Drarry Duchess. Thank you for making such great content. It's amazing. Love you so much. Anyways, guys, I might have to call it quits here. It's already almost 25 minutes. Oof. But I love you guys so much. Click the subscribe button. Give it some love to my page. Put on push notifications to be notified every single day that I post. Yee! Well, that's it, guys. But I love you so much. Bye bye.